Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to part 3 out of 3 for my Hella Mega Tour special. So, as people wanted more top 20 lists, not just top 10 lists, of my favorite songs from bands, I've decided why not do the Hella Mega Tour bands, and I've already done, as you're watching this video, Fall Out Boy and Weezer, my top 20 favorite songs of theirs, so I gotta show some love to the third main band, excuse me, and that is my top 20 favorite Green Day songs right here, right now. They're not your favorite, they're not their best, these are my favorite Green Day songs. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Let yourself go, let yourself go, let yourself go, let yourself go.
One of the high points on Uno, Dos, and Tre, which just won't be the last you'll see of the trilogy on this list, Let Yourself Go was definitely one that caught my eye when I first heard it. It's just so epic, and he's just basically saying, you know, let all those thoughts out and just go berserk, and, you know, it just makes you feel a whole lot better. It's a headbangy song, and it definitely still shows signs that the punk rock is within the guys, and it will remain that way forever, even if they do different directions and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a headbanging song.
So stand aside and let the next one pass. Don't let that time.
Yeah, so I had to pick something off of Insomniac, and I picked 86 mainly because this was one they actually used to sing live a lot, even like after Insomniac's album cycle was over. And I gotta say, I do like it. I mean, it's typical, just punk rock all the way through. It's 2.5 minutes, and it packs a punch.
I do like your feet now, well, let's be back up on you.
Speaking of underrateds, we go to Dookie, and we go to a song that should have been made a single that never was, but it's still a popular enough song to where they play it, and I'm talking about She. There's another song named She that I like from Kiss, but there's something about Green Day's She, probably one, that Mike Dirnt bass line. I mean, that is a fantastic bass line. They rely heavily on it, and catchy fucking chorus. Once again, if you have a catchy chorus and I enjoy the song, it's most likely going to be one of my favorite of yours all time. And yeah, she does it good. Not a real woman, the song. I want to clarify that.
'Cause you know where I'll be found when I come around.
Sticking with not American Idiot, with Dookie. Sorry. Oh my god. People are going to be pissed at me now. Anyway, I think it's because American Idiot's my favorite record, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, When I Come Around off of Dookie, one of the big singles. It's actually one of their more slower songs. I actually wouldn't call this one of their more punkier songs. This is their more attempt at an alternative kind of rock sound with a heavy Billy Joe guitar and just great drums, and you do hear a pretty decent bass line by Mike Dirnt. It's just one that you hear it and you know who it is. I mean, they have their songs, definitely, but this is one where, you know, you can, by the opening guitar riff, just name the song, and if that can happen where before, like, 2 seconds into the song, you're like, I know what song this is, then you've done something right.
'Cause I'm still breathing. 'Cause I'm still breathing on my own.
Am I the only one who is a fan of this song off of Revolution Radio? Because I really liked the album. And Still Breathing, to me, it's not like they haven't done this before, but this one to me felt really personal, kind of like a Wake Me Up When September Ends, which, hint, hint, you're gonna see later. But yeah, I mean, this basically, Billy Joe takes us through what it was like with his addiction and how he's surprised that he's still alive and around and didn't, like, overdose or commit suicide or anything like that. And it's just kind of more of his, like, I guess, cry for help after his cry for help. Like, literally, it sounded like something he may have written while he was in rehab. And it's just, it's beautiful, and some people in this world can definitely relate, and I think it can help people through tough times.
We're too old to be misbehaved. We sold our souls and so ashamed of.
There's something about Green Day and multi-part songs where they just knock it out of the park. Jesus of Suburbia, which also on the list later. American Eulogy, which also on the list later. Homecoming, which also on the list later. You can tell how much I like their just multi-part songs. But most people don't talk about Dirty Rotten Bastards off of Dose, I believe. It's fun. It's energetic all throughout. It's 6.5-minute runtime. It's definitely one that I would say go listen to, because like the other three I mentioned that are just long and multi-parted, this one deserves a chance.
Wake me up when September ends.
Another one for Billy Joe that was very personal. The song is about his father. I think his father died when he was 4 or 5 years old. He was very young when his father passed away, and I'm assuming his father died in September, if that's what he means by Wake Me Up When September Ends, because, you know, September hits and he just kind of reminded of the day his father passed. And, you know, some people have dealt with that before, parents passing away when they're young or while they are, you know, still in high school or something like that. I knew someone in high school whose mother died of breast cancer, and that was very sad and whatnot. We didn't get along that well, but, you know, I respected him and whatever happened throughout, and I just feel like, once again, this song can just be like a stress reliever for a lot of people.
Revolution Radio, operational control.
Quick, punky, and it fit the Revolution Radio style. That's basically it.
On my own, here we go.
Let's get a little just raunchy and darker and just, yeah, not punk rock. Brain Stew from Insomniac. I wanted to do Brain Stew / Jaded because those songs kind of combined together on the album, but I mean, god damn, Brain Stew, once again, that guitar riff at the beginning, once you hear it, you know what song it is, and this is one of the ones where you just know the lyrics, and it's fun to sing along to, and like I said, the darker atmosphere makes it a whole lot better.
I'm my senses on being a pessimist. I'm alone.
I swear to God, my mom always ends up vacuuming when I'm doing videos, so I hope you guys can hear me over the vacuuming, or you just can't hear the vacuuming at all. 11 is Armitage Shanks, which kicks off Insomniac. One of the more underrated Insomniac songs that I think has gone unnoticed for reasons, but once again, I felt like you could have made this a single and had it have been, it would have been great. I mean, come on, you talk about pump up kickoffs. You know, American Idiot had the title track, Uno had Nuclear Family, Revolution Radio had Somewhere Now, which starts off slow and then picks up. So in the end, Armitage Shanks just does its job of being that opening song that gets you hyped and ready for what's next to come.
Bite my lip and close my eyes. Take me away to paradise.
Getting into the top 10, I had to have Longview on here. Once again, you talk Mike Dirnt bass lines, and this is probably the most identifiable one out of all of them. Once you hear that ba-noo-noo-noo, you just know it's Longview. Let's get ready to sing this song about masturbation and boredom. And the rest is history.
Hysteria. That's hysteria. That's hysteria.
Here's the second of the two-part songs. We have American Eulogy. Now this one's a shorter of the two-parters, but it's, I think, just American Eulogy and then Modern World. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember really what the two parts are called, but yeah, you get one part. The first part is Billy Joe Armstrong singing, then you get Mike Dirnt coming in the second part, and then they kind of mix the two songs together, making it an interesting blend of not really punk music, something different. I don't even know if it'd be alternative rock. It was just kind of like, yeah, it was different, but it was cool, and it really piqued my interest. One of the definite high points on a rather boring 21st Century Breakdown. right back at it with Jesus of Suburbia, the 9-minute masterpiece. Each part just flows so well into one another. The atmosphere changes. It tells a story fantastically. I mean, what more do you want? I mean, it's not your typical Green Day. It was definitely a first for them to do a song like this, but in the end it made you go, wow, this is... I didn't know they could do this. This is highly interesting.
Once a year that I've been full of bad tales, I had a young and optimism point of view.
So this song's basically about what Billy Joe Armstrong thinks he'll be like when he's an old man. Not far off. But fucking... I think we all think that way sometimes. So, you know what? I'll agree with him in this sense.
It says the dawning of the rest of our lives.
Can you tell that I like American Idiot? Like, a lot? Because Holiday, oh yeah. It's... Probably one of my top 50 favorite songs of all time, which, Jesus, I might have to do a list for you all there. But yeah, I mean, like the second or third Green Day song I ever heard, and I just remember being wowed from just the beginning of it. I love Trey Cole's drumming on this album. The political stance against George Bush is just wow. Everything about it's wow. So in 2001, coming off of Warning, Green Day decided to release their international super hits with 2 new songs on them. One of them was Pop Rocks and Coke. I didn't do that intentionally. Oops. And the other one was the one that's on this list, Maria, which I think is a fantastic kickoff. I like how they added the little Billy Joe when he was very young clip as to like, you know, you just put out your very first record, how does it feel? And then he's just like, oh, it's wonderful, as the little kid Billy says. And then it's just kind of a return to like straight punk rock in a way for them at a point where they were very experimental, but Maria definitely showed you that they could still write a catchy pop punk tune. And yeah, if you married a girl named Maria, play this at your wedding, because Jesus, any song with a girl's name in it, I guess wins you over. So yeah, I forgot to mention this one in the video. For some reason I skipped from 5 to 3. I forgot to mention number 4 pick for my top 20 favorite Green Day songs, which happens to be Minority off of their album Warning. I feel like Warning is already an underrated album as it is, but you get that kind of punky vibe with more of a folky feel. They said they were inspired a lot by Bob Dylan, and this was their first like anti-George Bush song as well, so yeah, it's just catchy and gets stuck in your head with every listen, and has always been one of my favorites. Number 3, and the last of the humongously long songs, is Homecoming off of American Idiot. This is another one that I kind of found when I bought the album and listened to it for the first time. I was like, wow, this song just has so much great just shifting into one another and just like mixing the atmosphere and whatnot. It was just one where I was like, I do like this. And this is one where all 3 of the members actually get to sing. Billy Joe sings most of it, Mike Dirnt has his part, and Trey Cole has his part, you know, with the whole, oh, I'm a guy and I'm in a rock band and whatnot, and there's this chick, and so, you know, I found that pretty cool too. I think it's the only song where all 3 of them actually get to do vocals at the same time. I mean, we hear Mike Dirnt sing sometimes, do backing vocals, and Trey Cole has a couple of his songs like Dominated Love Slave and the hidden track on Dookie. But I think this is definitely a high point and shows even more the growth that they were going with in American Idiot.
Welcome to a new kind of tension all across the alien mission.
Speaking of American Idiot, what I think is their second best song up to this point, and the first song of theirs I ever heard, is the title track for the album. I mean, when I first heard this song, I was like, wow, this is energetic, this is awesome, and the music video, just watching them dance around in that slime and that goo, it was like they're having fun, but also being very political at the same exact time, and I was in awe, because then I found out, oh, this is a comeback song. I'm like, well, Jesus, I don't know how bad they were falling before, but however badly they were falling, they're rising right back to the top. And at this point in time, you just kind of, you wonder what that Cigarettes and Valentines album would have sounded like had the master tapes not have been stolen, but you kind of look back at it and go, you know what, whoever stole those master tapes, we thank you, because now we got American Idiot in our history, and that's just something that, without American Idiot, I don't think Cigarettes and Valentines would have brought Green Day back up to where they are now. I mean, their career was basically dying. They released this song, they released this album, and boom. So after all that, and not even naming the first Green Day song I ever heard, number one, which comes off of my favorite album of theirs, you're probably sitting there wondering, what is number one? What haven't you covered yet? Is it Welcome to Paradise? No, but that makes an honorable mention. Is it Walking Contradiction? No, I don't know if that one would make an honorable mention, but it's still a good song. What about More Off of Nimrod? You Only Have the Grudge. Nimrod's okay. I mean, I do like songs like Nice Guys Finish Last, Hitchin' a Ride, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, even though that's the most overplayed song of theirs ever. But there's one. I talked about the song American Idiot really bringing them back to life, but after the trilogy and what happened to Billy Joe, you would have thought they were dead in the water, but then in 2016, they came back with this.
It's hard to be a celebrity man.
And once they came back with this, I said, oh my God, for the first time since American Idiot, they had me reeled in. They really caught my attention and made me excited for this album. And Bang Bang is just so, like, once the instruments just kick in, you're just like sitting there headbanging and going, now this is fucking punk music. Whatever they were trying to do on Uno, Dos, and Trey, it was just like, swipe that under the door. They're not doing that anymore. They're going back to a standard album. No rock operas, no trilogy, just standard 12 tracks and an album. And at that point in time, I was excited. I'm like, they're back. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah, guys, that does it. Hopefully you guys are liking the top 20 list, because I feel like top 10s were good, but I feel like when you do the honorable mentions, it's kind of like, why couldn't I just do like a top 15 or a top 20? So I think from this point on, when I talk about bands that I like, I think I'm going to do top 20 lists with no honorable mentions, because 20, I think, can definitely suffice a lot more, because if you really like a band, then you are definitely going to like more than just 10 of their songs. And I had to just do the Hell Omega World Tour bands because it made sense. They just announced it. I'm going, and although there's some on the top 20 list that I know that I'm not going to hear, it's more kind of like a wish list, but, you know, I'm still going to have fun and, you know, get 3 bucket list bands right out of the way. Plus, I see Ozzy in June. I was supposed to see him in June this year, but the medical stuff that was going on with him canceled it till next year. So I have 2 concerts I'm going to next year, and it'll be the second time I'm seeing Ozzy. I went to Ozfest when I was like 8, and that was awesome too. But yeah, that does it, guys. Tell me in the comments below, what are your favorite Green Day songs? And I will catch you in the next one.